Imagine you build a wall around yourself. Do you think you can live your own life without interacting with others? Absolutely not. The reason for the wall might be your own survival or the feeling for being protected, but the trouble is that over time it has led to pain and separation from other people. This also applies to the international situation. A number of states form an international community and they have actively exchanged the products, technology, and information across the borders. But I believe that the world currently follows the new trend, inter-country distancing. Especially COVID-19 adds the momentum to this tendency and it has brought about a huge change to the world. Then, how has the COVID-19 affected the world and what challenges are given to the international community? Regarding this, we invited the well-known expert in international affairs.
Hello, I'm going to deal with the questions in economic and social aspects. First, the spread of protectionism is a typical example that the COVID-19 has affected the global economy. Many countries have imposed export ban, especially on medical gear, and put an emphasis on domestic sourcing for national security.
However, if some countries start restricting trade in importing goods, others are likely to follow suit.
Yeah, countries have begun to turn inward and such policies are leading to division among states. Also, COVID-19 have reduced economic activity and the main impact is on demand side. For example, some key medical supplies have been placed under severe strain due to the surge in demand. On the other hand, the economic crisis confined measures have lowered demand for some services. The airline industry stands to lose the most. Also, this chart shows the falling demand for restaurant industry.
Like this, the COVID-19 is driving the world to retreat from global economic integration. To solve the problem, I think we need to deal with the domestic ones first and then move forward to a global perspective.
You're right. First, we need to focus on the close cooperation between the governments and companies. The nations have to increase supply where there is a surge in demand or a shortage in the provision like medical supplies. In addition, as the supply is a key factor in economy, it is important for the firms to mitigate supply shocks in the event of another crisis.
Then, one option can be diversifying the supply chain to reduce dependency on a certain supplier. In addition, it would be a great idea that the governments give incentives to the firms to make the action plans for business resilience. Yes, also interdependence among the nations is necessary. Each government needs to ensure transparency and economic network by sharing risk and sufficient information. Then, what about the social side?
With the practice of social distancing, the world's low-touch economy has merged, and it requires the society to deal with the new normal, which means a sudden change in the industrial environment. Various services have been able to go digital, such as e-learning, remote working, and telecommunication apps. Besides, there has been a rapid change in consumer behavior since the crisis broke out. For instance, the number of Netflix subscribers has increased by 60 million, while the number of people going theater declined significantly. Another example is that many delivery platforms have launched zero-contact delivery in many cities around the world.
We can realize that services are minimizing contact with people, and this transformation is providing better access to information. Accordingly, in order to further improve the access to areas where the digital technology has not been applied yet, it is necessary for the governments and the companies to build a proper infrastructure in more areas.
But we also worry about the opposite effects of digital acceleration, as not everyone can benefit from the opportunities of going digital. In order to find the proper balance of information, there should be an urgent need for an institutional framework. For example, the government needs to provide subsidies to the poor to adapt to the sudden change caused by the COVID-19.
Obviously, the world today finds itself in an environment where international cooperation is absent, and accordingly, we have seen the major economic and social changes caused by the COVID-19. But if we think about it from the other side, it is a challenge for us to take one step further. Based on each country's actions, when everyone moves toward interdependence and interconnectedness, the international community will be able to grow further by turning the crisis into an opportunity.